Hi, welcome to Smileys. So we're doing Fall of Light, chapter 7 today.
Yep.
And Lee has promised us that the chapter is so good, it's so extensive that he needs two parts to handle it. So
Yeah,
I don't know what else to. Yeah, Lee.
A few trivia. So, Moore actually told me that the Fall of Light audio for Chapter 7 is about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see. We
on
don't
the
know
mass
now.
market, on the mass market paper. Okay,
So we're back.
great.
And yeah.
This is going to be great. Anyway, what I was saying is Fall of Light's audiobook for Chapter 7 is about 130 minutes. It's 50 pages on my mass market paperback. My summary is about 23 pages. And 8,500 words. So, summary is a bit subjective.
But see, your Word document pages would be like A4 size, right?
Yeah. They're big. I have a bigger font size than them. But it's not exact, but 8,500 words is still a lot of words.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you have anything to add, because this is going to be a long one, and as I said, it's probably going to be part 1 and 2. So this is part 1. Hi.
Do you have any idea where you're going to split these two? And spoilers all. We're starting the spoilers also.
Yeah. So
where are we going
up
to
to
split
Chapter 7, and probably part 1 will spoil part 2. So if you've not finished the chapter, let's do that.
Okay.
Probably about like the 4th or 5th scene, I'll let you know. But we still have a while to go until then.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I should probably start
with Father Light.
Yeah. So scene 1, which I have named, I started naming them in accordance with your conventions and then stopped later because I ran out of names. Scene 1 is the father and the captain.
Oh, no. The thing, see, let me just clarify. My naming convention works because it has repetitions, right? So that makes it more fun. So you have the husbands, the wife, then the husbands, then the dragons. That's how it goes.
Right.
So the father and the captain. Nice.
So the scene starts with Sharina Sankadu, who I do. How do you pronounce Sankadu? Yeah.
You could have just named it the captain and the commander, right? The first line starts with commander.
Okay, to be fair, I could have, but I like the father more because that's a theme, a motif that comes up.
It does, yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
Ankadu. Sharina Sankadu.
Okay. Captain of the Legion, having just arrived at Earthshore, watching Vatho Sander, the vaunted Father Light, gaze outward while standing, rather literally, ankle deep in shit. The symbolism speaks for itself. I don't even need to wave. In the meantime, Sharina thinks on her absence, since she has left. Both the Hutt Legion and Wardens of the Outer Reach were effectively shattered by Ursander's forces. And who knows, maybe Ursander intended this, even though Sharina has yet to hear of a formal declaration. She also thinks of the scene currently before her commander standing in refuse, and how an artist would delight in seeing it, but her thoughts stray to the facade brought up by big buildings covering the ugliness beneath. And to complete the metaphor of who this shit represents, her train of thought lands in Honral. The captain had become greed's own tyrant, something avarice makes whores. I'm gonna quote past chapters a lot here, just FYI.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
But more than that, something strange is emanating from Raoul, which we soon learn is his newfound sorcery, which Sharina can somehow detect. I'm not sure how.
No, it's that powerful, is what I think.
Could be, yeah. That's the logical explanation.
And she's the one seeing him after a break, right? The others would have watched him.
Right, yeah.
Build in power.
True, yeah. See, this is why we have two people. So Sharina suspects, but cannot confirm, and merely attributes her suspicions to her prolonged absence, what we just mentioned. To conclude her thoughts, she reminisces on her time with Kagamandra and realizes that she misses him.
That's so sweet, no?
Yeah,
I'm at Neretsor and I miss you and all this, no. Let me just, I don't know. Each week I'm going to plug the audiobook because I can just hear it. It is so well done, Sharina's thoughts and the way she's missing him and all. I can hear it more than, more than the reading. Sorry, please go on. I will not interrupt.
Yeah. So Ursander finally turns to face her, and Sharina is startled once more by his transformation. Whatever Centaura may have named this, it's anything but. As Sharina's remarks, light yields no empathy. The commander begins about Tora's Ridan, redone, whatever.
Redon. Taurus Redon. Redon is what I've been saying.
Redone? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Evidently unaware of what has befallen the Hust, and prays that she has seen reason, unlike Rend. His hesitation is forgiven by Sharinus, since Sir Sander was always a reluctant commander and not known for being loquacious. But he goes on, this was not how it was meant to be. Sharinus knows enough about the commander to not contest his words, but the irony in his title of Father Light is biting. The man has lost control of his own children, both trueborn and adopted. What will he do with his children now, when he is father to thousands? Ooh.
Have you had similar thoughts about a commander thinking of his soldiers as my children and all that? With Haverald?
Are you asking? Oh, yeah. Good point. My sacks of blood.
My
Yeah.
children. Yeah.
My blessed misfits. Right, yeah. I thought
Oh,
you
I
were
suppose
talking
this
about
book
the
is all
lore.
about fatherhood. Oh, no. Yeah.
This chapter
No,
especially has a lot of motifs of fatherhood, yeah? Which we're gonna get to.
Are you thirsty
Taking a
already?
similar-
We are 6
Yeah.
minutes in.
Pray forgive me.
Are you going to mention that Rusander is more or less always staring south in this entire scene?
Yeah, which is towards the Citadel in Kirkanas.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
Neat, because he's probably in love with Mother Dark.
Yeah, obviously. No, one thing I wanted to mention, which I didn't write in the summary, but he mentions later that if he stood fast, he had reason and all of that. And that tracks both in, how he feels about all of this and also in past wars, because what we learned from the Jellic Wars is that the Dice rushed into battle, got up in the winter, and starved en masse. See also Ibis. Sander didn't do that. He was like the only capable Dice commander that employed tactics, and he pushed the Forlgan all the way back to their shores, right? So he's a reluctant commander, and that has yielded him a lot of victories in the past, but obviously it doesn't fly anymore. But he is slow to realize this eventually. And we'll get to that. Anyway,
We'll get to it. Yeah.
Sharinus replies with his words that Centaura would simply have him as equal to Mother Dark, which we learned very soon is scantly true, beyond the thin veneer of marriage. And Lysander responds that no mortal can hold anger forever. The nobility of Curl Ghislaine has abrogated civility. They have abrogated their contract with civil society. And the dam was now broken. And though Serenus knows Lysander would have chained the beast, he's long now lost control. And he doesn't even know what the beast seeks anymore. Restitution or simply vengeance. Father Light's thoughts are drawn back to Gadaspala and his portrait. He painted what he saw, and he now sees nothing. Is there important to this? Does Gadaspala make a statement through self-mutilation? And though Sharinus such it down, we can say with some measure of confidence that maybe... confidence. Now, though Gadaspala's act of blinding himself wasn't intended as a statement, his later thoughts follow similar tracks to what Lysander describes here. Chapter 20, he goes, I see their lies catch up to them in flames and vengeance.
Okay.
I see a future laden with ash and soot-coated pools and gibbets groaning, and all that I see I will paint. That's the last book of this book.
Okay, got it, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not totally off base. I mean, it seems completely random to be thinking about this kind of thing when all of this is happening, but he's not completely off base. Now, Sharinus brings the back man to reality, and he concurs. He has lost the leash, and to all other highborn, it must seem as though Vatha or Lysander has begun a civil war, and awaits an Ered Sor, eager to begin the season of war. And the season of war is early spring.
Summer. Spring?
It's a winter now, so early spring when the ice thaws.
I think summer is like that's why Bor Fenner is the god of summer. Because
summer is the
summertime.
It really depends on the region.
I think the way it goes is you finish winter, and then in spring you do all your early farming activities.
Yeah.
And in summer you're basically free.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're waiting for harvest and all that. I think that's how it goes.
I'm assuming in a more post-industrial society like Curl Ghislaine has iron and proper tools and whatnot. Yeah.
Is it a post-industrial society?
They're a post-scarcity society. We reach like sci-fi levels of advancement. But I think they would be more able to start like campaigning in April or March or February.
They could have a winter war. It's just that,
And they are. That's what this is.
So, yeah.
It's just not working out for them.
Yeah, no, they're not a farming society. They're not in poverty. Like,
They're also not a post-scarcity, but So Rosandra finally asks, "What news does Serenus bring?" The captain hesitates. The commander seems to be lost in his own world, cut off from the outside and held ignorant, which is true.
yeah,
She informs him that Taurus is presently indisposed, but Rosandra seems baffled. Has she lost a dear one? His innocence stuns Serenus, an innocence she attributes to the slipping free of a chain, which is not necessarily unfair. And
yeah,
she likes to dig a roundabout way to informing him what happened. She mentions Honral, and Ursandra immediately replies that the man is censured, though he does question Serenus's hesitation. She responds that there have been changes and she must take her time before getting to them. Serenus inwardly confesses that she doubts Ursandra's footing in Earthsor, as Sintara holds to a lofty station, and she must know who advises the commander in matters of state. Ral,
no,
Sarah?
wasn't that exchange great? He asks her that, "Do you doubt your footing?"
Like,
And she
you fool,
says,
I doubt
"No, you
yours.
fool, I doubt yours."
Yeah.
So this whole thing just slowly builds up. Have you watched it? It slowly builds up. She gets more and more shocked at how unaware this guy is, and he gets more and more shocked. And then at the end, I think with the resolution is just him going back to his circle. So you know, you should blame him for his ignorance. He's not a. I don't think he's like
What do you mean going back to the circle?
he's going back to his denial in the sense he ultimately ends up blaming Rend, isn't it? He's not convinced that Rend. You're going to summarize that. Yeah. Please continue.
Anyhow, he replies that no one advises him, as he does not seek advice. But nonetheless, with Serenus' return, that will change. He will reassert the justice of the Legion's cause, though everyone around him constantly advises him about all sorts of self-serving bullshit centered on the wedding between him and Mother Dark. Serenus points this out, not that Ursander isn't aware, for the audience's benefit. The marriage is just simply a political tool to make of two powerful individuals a weapon to wield. Serenus knows that the commander still has fight left in him, but he's rendered helpless by the machinations of those surrounding him. Is that what Centaurus' gift pretends? Was it little more than a curse as well as a gift? She confirms Ursander's suspicions. They would make of them both a weapon and swing without any care for collateral damage. And the man is distraught. Are they mad? They would seek to manipulate Mother Dark, which is not the first time we've given this motif, and I'm no further from disagreeing with Rosander because it was mad last book and it's still mad now.
Yeah.
He resolves to speak to her, though he does not specify who she is, but Serenus assumes, and I assume, that he means Mother Dark.
He could mean Sintara is the subtext, right? That
I suppose so. That was my secondary assumption. But I don't think he mentioned Tara on speaking terms.
No. Amongst Hunral and Sintara, she's the one he can at least, talk to about this upcoming marriage. Is he even on talking terms with Mother Dark? No, right? At this part
it's
of
not
the
like
story?
they talk. It's not like he wanted to talk to her last book. Oh dear, that's thunder. Okay.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning.
They wanted
Did
to
you
talk.
hear
Yes,
it? I couldn't hear
lightning.
it.
No, I don't hear it now. They wanted to talk last book, but he was stopped by Sarab. Now in this book, he's been more or less obstructed, as far as we know, by both Ral and Sindar. So
if someone wanted to rewrite Karkanas, it should be like a star-crossed romance story between Father Light and Mother Dark,
Yeah.
It would work.
With Draconis as the jealous third guy.
Yeah.
To complete the love triangle.
Yeah. I don't know where Gothos and the other, the main guys would go.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So,
sorry. I'll just waste your time. What would Anamander be? Somewhere in your Greek tragedies?
He's the jealous son, who would kill his father because prophecy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He meant Mother Dark, probably.
Right. So Serenus inquires, was it truly Ursander's wish to do nothing? He confirms her suspicion. He places trust in her, since he can hardly trust anyone else. But Sharina's resolve to sting the man's pride and urge him to action, and in so doing, she reveals the reason for Doris's grief, the destruction of the Haas Legion. Lysander springs into action indeed. Have the Forlican return, he will ride them down to the very sea, throw them over the cliffside, make the streams run red with their blood, and funnily enough, Forlican blood is blue.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he meant the Legion soldiers' blood.
Ooh. I think Steve just forgot, but yeah, whatever. Alas, the Forlican have not returned.
Lysander might have forgotten because he's become that.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah, maybe Lysander forgot. Yeah.
No, this dialogue, this particular line, it just stands out so much compared to the rest of his talk, right? The rest is all just what happened and what word you have. It's just basic things. This is the only time he comes alive.
Yeah.
Because he wants this, right? He wants something to take him away and get involved him in actual battle, actual war.
I don't think it's so much about actual war. I think it's just he can't really fathom that this is still happening. Civil war...
that would be a great escape for him, right? If his third person attacks them, all the ties are going to stop doing the civil war and go fix this enemy, right? So, have I told you about this Kannada poem which I really like called No River Away, something like that? It's about. Do we have the time?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Anyway, I brought it up. Yeah. So in Mahabharata, it's about this, war. Just like Karkanas, it's a war between almost a civil war because on one side you have 100 brothers, and on the other side you have 5 brothers and their cousins, and they are fighting for the kingdom. So all their allies are, their relations. Like they're all they have families and friends, and the grandfather goes with the 100 cousins, and the 5 brothers have to face their grandfather and their own teacher and all their other relatives and everyone. And that's when Bhagavad Gita comes, that Krishna comes and says, even though these are your friends and family, you still have to fight because that is your duty, karma, that is your duty. Okay. So that's the basis of that. And in that there is a poem in Kannada in which the brothers are singing all 105. The title means that 105. Aren't we 105? That's the number, because between us we might fight. We are 100 versus 5. But if there's a third person who's trying to attack us or something, then aren't we 105 strong?
Right, yeah.
Like that. So it's one of my favorite songs.
Trying to think of I'm trying to think of a real world historical example, because this is a motif that comes up a lot, right?
People giving up
of civil war happens, and then some greater enemy rises up and they have to band together.
What? In real history, if this happened, that civil war would be forgotten.
Oh yeah. I mean, generally speaking, such narratives are used in demagoguery to band together peoples against the common enemy, supposedly common enemy, which often involves prejudice.
During the Mughal era here, there must have been some religious infighting, right? And they would have all pushed to one side when the British came, probably. I mean, that's what will happen, right? Even if there is civil war, when there's a stronger enemy, this gets forgotten. This becomes a
for sure.
And we haven't learned history in that detail to know things in that depth.
Yeah. I mean, I think that happens every culture ever, right?
Yeah.
Some greater enemy arises, and then never mind. I know we're telling you 5 minutes ago, but it's time we band together. But yeah. So anyhow, the Forlican, alas, have not returned. Their own queen, which is interesting, asserted the justice of their defeat. We did not know because the Assail that we see in the Book of the Fallen are a priestly caste, so they don't have queens.
Oh, so right. But this queen accepted the justice of her defeat.
Yep.
So naturally, the Forlican would have disposed her to bring justice. No,
that would be the Assail, and I don't think they've taken power yet, right? Because you have the Forlican, who are all of them, and the Forkul Assail, who are the priestly caste of the Forlican. By the way, there's an excellent essay by Nif. Nif has written about this. We'll leave a link if I remember.
Okay, Nif was just telling me something about twins in Forkul, and I didn't have time to read it. Something about Poliel and Soliel are twins, and there's a lot of twin motifs in Forkul. I didn't see that yet. Yeah.
But anyway, quick TLDR. In the Book of the Fallen and the Novels of the Last Empire, the Forkul Assail are the only remaining Forlucan, and they're all like fanatical priests devoted to justice. And as such, they are all equal. We learned this from Assail. They don't even have names because they're all equal in their society. There is no like that Forlucan are above everyone else, and then below them are like the Watered, and then there's Shriven, which is anything that doesn't have Forlucan blood in them. So the fact that they have a queen now and they're a queendom, I guess, is interesting in and of itself, even as a throwaway line. Anyway, the queen has asserted the justice of their defeat and the cause for the destruction of the Hust's treachery at the hands of Captain Hunral. This is why they, Sandara and Ral, only speak of the wedding. Ursander asks if Anomander has already begun marching upon the Legion, but Sharina snaps back. With what army? The Houseblades? Anomander isn't even in Karkanos. He's searching for his brother. Selgas is raiding the mining pits to rearm the Hust Legion, but beyond that, Karkanos has no army. Ursander states her, and Sharina wonders if she pushed too far. The commander looks shocked as he replies that they think him a puppet, and he ponders on Ren's actions. How would Kalat take this? Hell, how would everyone else take this? His thoughts lead to more philosophy. The horrors climbed the walls of our righteous indignation, and Hunral was shaped by none other than Ursander himself, which is a wonderful monologue.
And it
very apropos, but it's wonderful. What?
It ends with my blessed poison portrait.
Yeah. It's very apropos because he just learned like, oh yeah, the entire Hust Legion was just poisoned, and the guy just thinks, oh, well, isn't that strange? But
awesome Sharinas. She kicks him back. What did she say?
Hang on, I need to translate the, So, in other words, individuals such as Ral latch themselves onto righteous causes and subvert them to further their own goals. Legion's goal of recognition and restitution is a righteous one. We've discussed this in the past, but Ral's pogroms and subsequent destruction of all opposition is not. Sharina seems to misunderstand this somewhat, thinking that Ursander is simply hardening himself to such atrocities, which I don't think he is.
I thought he totally was.
No, I don't. Ursander doesn't seem like a type of person to steel himself against atrocities. That's why he's such
He's sort of
a reluctant
rationalizing
commander.
with himself that, okay, this happened and it's probably my fault. And then he stops there.
I don't think so.
So we are going to just not agree on anything with
I think
Ursander
Ral
because
would be like, okay, so
no,
we can't talk about this without getting into spoilers. I think Ral would be the kind of person that Shurinus is describing here, Like, okay, whatever. I just lost 4,000 men. Fine.
No, Ral is a psychopath. He wouldn't feel any sort of remorse. It's Ursander who will need to... Yeah,
he was always like described as, even here, as a reluctant commander who would care a lot more for his soldiers. And this motif comes up again in this chapter.
Yeah, so now his soldiers are going to be a target, right?
Right.
So he's basically steeling himself to make sure that he can defend them.
I don't think that's all he's doing though. Like Sharina tells him it's not enough to.
It's not enough. And then what does he say? Yeah, go on. We'll see.
Yeah, you must judge me, Sharinas. It seems you have forgotten the campaigns against the Forlucan and Jollarcan. No battle shall be unveiled until it's already won. I must think like a commander. Again, after all this time, gift me with your patience and considers my words a promise.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what he's asking. He wants time because he wants to defend his soldiers, even though all these things have been done by them. He doesn't.
I think it's the opposite.
What do you think he's going to do?
Sander is trying to bring justice and Sharina tells him like, you're too fucking late. She is. But I think he finally catches on. Like, if I don't move now, this realm's going to go to shit. Well, it's already gone to shit from last book, but he doesn't know that. If he doesn't move now...
What is he planning to do?
So, there's an exchange later, If Ral can poison 3,000 men and women of the Hust, would he shy from provoking Ren to a foolish decision?
True.
And then Ursander just goes, I can't say. Let's ask him, shall we? Which, he's not quite so apropos to just say that in the middle of nowhere. It's very clearly an implication, and Sharinas picks us up that he's going to try and arrest Ral. But Sharinas knows that that's not going to happen, because Ral could simply take 3,000 men from Ursander's camp, march them, destroy the wardens, come back until he gets an earful. Like, we're way past actually arresting this guy.
Yeah.
That's why Sharina springs into action. So what I think Ursander's trying to do is bring what Sharina later describes as doing our enemy's work for him, execute most of our officers. Because they're all guilty, and he knows this now. Well, he knew this before, with Ral at least, but he didn't do anything because he's an idiot. Doesn't matter. The point is, he's not trying to defend his soldiers. He wants to bring justice to the soldiery and make everyone else on the other side, on the Andy side, understand that he's not to blame for this. He is trying his best. It's way past time for all of this. He is too late, and Sharinas knows this. But I don't think he's just stealing himself because, whatever, they might die, I need to save them. Like, no, he's not trying to save them. He's trying to bring them to justice, and his justice is supposed to be, I guess egalitarian would be the word, or, just fair, I suppose.
No, see, Hanral, along with his own trusted soldiers, have gone and poisoned the Hust Legion.
Yeah.
What would be the justice for this?
Kill
what
them.
would be an act of justice?
In his version of the justice he would deliver would be to execute all of them, all the perpetrators.
Yeah, but he's not even close to that. All he's trying
know.
to do is, that's what I'm saying. That's what Sharina speaks of, because all he's trying to do is he's asking what is Anamandra's strategy, who is going to answer this Hust Legion's destruction, who is going to march on my soldiers in Neret. So this is what he's worried about. That's what he says. I have to think like a commander. I think that's what is happening here. And even when she offers to kill all the officers, his thought is the same. We are going to do the enemy's work for them.
That's the other way around.
He's still trying to hold. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't give her explicit permission. He knows it's the right thing to do, but at the way, as you say,
that.
Yeah, sure. Let's get to that.
No, go on, please go on.
It's the same point. I just have.
Yeah, no. About this, I haven't even gotten the summary there.
Let's just agree that we are just not going to come to any conclusion with Urusander because he's written in that. No. It's written that way. Yeah. It's not meant to mesh. It's not meant to have one particular reading. Yeah.
Right. So, the commander replies to him like, what? Okay. So, the no battle is unveiled until it's already won moniker is basically, I think what Ursander's saying, that like the fact that Ral has made so many overt moves, destroy the border swords, destroy the wardens, destroy the deniers, means that he's already won most of those battles before he even sprung them into action. So he needs to think like a commander again, but that's a bit too late because, dude, the people have died and people are going to continue to die. We need to do things now. There is no time for patience. The camp needs cleansing. He replies that he keeps looking for justice. And Sharinas looks down at the castle leavings that crowd at the Lord's ankles.
You want the symbolism
and
thing.
Thinks that you will not find it here, Vatha Ursander. And so she just goes that you can't trust Hunral. And Ursander naturally responds that he reasonably can't trust her either, which is somewhat true given the circumstances, but he amends quickly because he realizes that if he alienates Sharinas, he's boned. And basically goes that her clay is
still
that
wet.
she remains outside of the aforementioned circumstances, and her clay awaits impress on her surface. In simpler terms, Sharinas has had to commit herself to a cause. In any case, she brings the conversation back to rent assault. Whatever Ronald says about it is probably horseshit, which it is, because such an assault is very uncharacteristic, friend. The pogrom was ongoing, about which Ursander had committed to a promise of justice, but one which he did not deliver to Ren personally because he was indisposed.
That is
and there's also
so pathetic. I cringed, when I read that. I was indisposed that day. It's so pathetic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Get out of your system, it's fine. And there's also the murder of the Hust. In short, it falls to Ursander to finally see to his dispensation of justice. He counters with the fact that civil war is now upon them, despite his best efforts. His 7,000 soldiers were held fast to Nerdsor, and even still, he was openly attacked. For all he knows, this is a preemptive strike organized by Anomander, to take the Legion out of the equation before it was fully mobilized, which, mind you, is what Ren's plan was to begin with, so Lysander, at least tactically, isn't off base, because
Yeah,
he
he
would do the
started
same thing.
thinking like a commander, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because I would do the same thing, Ren did the same thing, because they're both...
No, Ren
And that's
does
why
it.
Hunral works, okay, tangent. This is why Hunral works, because he doesn't think like these guys.
No, but Ren knew that this is what he's doing. He knew this exact strategy, that this is the best time to march on Nerad, so he strategically takes it. So
Right. Sharina's having more contact with the outside world informs him that, while practically sound, that plan is bollocks. Elgast marched to a show of force to display his disappointment. If Anamander wanted the Legion destroyed, he would have assembled the entirety of Gorgalian's armies and destroyed it properly. While baited went to battle, if he could poison 3,000 men and women, how was that any surprise? Lysander wryly replies, "Let's ask him, shall we?" Which Sharina quickly understands, amounts to Lysander finally resolving to take action, but too little too late. For all the two of them know, the entire Legion camp has rallied behind Rahl, and any attempt to dislodge him would see them killed. Now, what they need is to gauge the strength of the camp. Sharinus needs to know where Serap stands, as well as where Centaurus stands, and Infain, and Astala, and Halid. All of them were loyal and venerated commanders, and all of them were implicated in the pogrom against the Deniers.
you know what Serap is
claims,
called?
Yeah.
Sharina calls her Lieutenant Serap.
Yeah.
Because she's away.
Wait.
Yeah, she does.
Look.
In this page. Best wait on that. Forgive me, sir.
Right. Yeah. True.
Probably she doesn't know that Serap is captain now.
Yeah. She does refer to her as captain later, so that's interesting.
Maybe she found out on the way.
Probably. Or she has insignia on her, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Or Steve is like me. He can't keep this thing straight.
Yeah, but everyone acts as though Sharp's already captain. I don't know. It's maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Steve just went for like a month-old vacation while writing this chapter and just left in the middle and like, yeah, whatever, maybe Sharp's a captain now. Who knows?
You're just waiting him to appear on this podcast and talk to us,
I have thrown the gauntlet down, Mr. Erickson. So each captain, Serena's claims, is acting on Hunral's orders, and she's right. So there's already a conspiracy afoot, but it's in Lysander's name. The systematic destruction of all the Legion's rivals has been perpetrated in Father Light's name. Alas, when all is said and done, the conspirators will be revealed for the venal, vainglorious, vicious villains that they are. And I just copied V for Vendetta there.
From where did you get that?
I didn't.
Oh, you did all.
Yeah. There is a scene in V for Vendetta where just like Hugo Weaving just goes for like 30 V words in a row.
Yeah.
I like that scene. So yeah. So Sharinus contends that the last person to lead the Legion into battle was Hunral, and seemingly the extent of the situation finally dawns on Father Light, though it can still be remedied. Not remedied. Whatever.
Yeah.
I can't speak.
Relax.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
Talk slowly. Relax.
Right.
Calm down.
Do you have anything to add before we go on?
No.
Okay.
We're still in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sharinus replies that peace can be won without any more bloodshed, which is awfully idealistic of her, given what we've seen so far. And she derides
to stop him. Yeah. She still thinks exactly the way I'm thinking, that Lysander is still in war mode. He's trying to protect the remaining soldiers, and he's ready to attack anyone who marches on him or anything. Right? So she wants to prevent further bloodshed, and that's what she's trying to stop.
I don't think so, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll not agree.
I mean, I don't think so because of her inner monologue, of what she says in her inner monologue. But
okay, go on.
Yeah, that she's she basically thinks that no more bloodshed is necessary, bearing those who have committed crimes in my name. Indeed, and will you now do our enemies' work for them, execute the majority of your officers? Whether Ilgas Ren heard your promise or not, he would have been skeptical. Your justice, your senator, thrives best in imagination. It remains an ideal, unsullied by any real world. Which is technically true, it just rings really hollow when she just goes full idealism versus this. So,
Mhm.
She's lying to his face, or she just has the most, like, I don't know. I think she's just lying. I really do think you're right in this regard, that she's not being honest.
Maybe.
Anyway, she
Who knew
derides Alexander's
Sharinas would
contention.
be?
Yeah, I
Who knew Sharinas would be this complicated, right? She was so
mean,
straightforward. She was
isn't
all
that?
thinking about, seducing Hunral and then seducing Kagamandra and then
Yeah.
Pharaoh. This was her entire depth in Force of Darkness. No?
Yeah. She was really good with the spear, and she would shag anything that moves. Yeah. And then she met Kagamandra for a night, and realized that I can't shag this. And suddenly, depth unveiled. Anyway. So, Sharinas derides Sanders' contention that the blood of those who have committed crimes in his name will be shed. She is unfazed, however. Urisander may choose the higher path, scudding above them, as it were, but Sharinas chose the ground below and chooses it still. Urisander's professed justice is an unattainable idea, one that cannot possibly be delivered, and certainly not by a commander who's losing control of his own legion. For Urisander's justice to be even applicable, Rahl must go. He is too caught up in the mundane, a flaw in the bloodline, Sharinas believes. That doesn't matter, since such stains had a habit of spreading. Urisander must comprehend this, certainly. And what of her, a noble-born captain committing herself to the cause of Fatha Urisander, whose ostensible cause is to equate the low-born soldiers with the nobles of the realm, which, by the way, it isn't, but that's what it's been twisted into. The irony stings even her. She resolves to stand by Urisander for as long as honor and duty demands, and if he proves unfit to lead, she'll cut herself loose. The scene closes with Fatha Urisander saying that he's glad Sharinas is back.
Poor
I really
man.
like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I mean, it just follows that line, If there came a time when she must cut herself loose, she would be ready. Sharinas, I'm pleased that you're back. It just, yeah. Why do we have to feel pity for people like this? Yeah, no,
I can't
rhetorical.
really talk because spoilers, but yeah.
Right. What's the next?
Right.
What are we calling the next scene?
I think Priestess in the Cap. No, I should have named it Eight Shits in Dara because she deserves it. But anyway, no, what I have
What have
named
you
it
named
is
it?
the Priestess and the Drunk because
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But he's a warlock, right? The priestess.
Yeah, he's a warlock now.
Budding warlock, right?
So
yeah.
this is
So where do we begin?
It's
your
kind of scene.
Your favorite kind. Your favorite kind, right?
So Daughter Light is pondering the value of keeping people beneath notice close, so that they may be used for the more mundane tasks, from cleaning up the mess left behind to distracting more base individuals.
Sorry, I'm sure you noticed, but Sharinas is cleaning up the mess, trying to stay below notice, and we have a same maid here doing the same thing, cleaning up other people's messes. And and both people are, Hunral's mess.
Case in point, Hunral staring at a maid, and Centaur imagining how theoretically, she imagines how he would imagine he would be sexually assaulting her, but the point is all the same. They're both horrible, and I don't enjoy this. Anyway.
I've kept my Kindle down because I'm just going to listen to you. I just want to see what you have to say.
Okay. Jeez, sorry.
Yeah.
It's punch from my accent. Excellent. Anyway, for the moment, however, Hunral was not within Centaur's mind. The man was drunk and sated as it was, and so she was free to contemplate the necessity of people beneath notice. In short, Centaur believed that equality is a delusion. God damn it. Sorry. And there will always be people on top and people beneath them. Indeed, the idea of bringing about equality deserved mockery and ridicule, as it is an impossible ideal.
Sagander told us this.
This is not even the first time we see this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't react like this to Sagander. You never told him to eat shit. So
Sagander didn't invoke Kadaspala's name in vain.
Oh, is that?
You don't take that guy's name in vain in my presence and be wrong about it too. If she wasn't wrong, it will be fine.
Oh my
She's
god.
wrong.
You're that totally in love with Kadaspala, is it? I thought you're just a mid fan. No?
I'm the biggest fan. I don't think you'll find a fan bigger than me.
Oh my
I'm a
god.
ceiling fan. Anyway.
Yeah. No.
Right.
This is only the second scene.
Yeah.
We are like 40 minutes.
Yep. So Ursander's ideals about justice were misplaced as he tried to impose law and rules upon what was wholly natural. Moreover, to attain privilege, some necessary sacrifices must be made. And if those who are so privileged are constantly besieged by lesser people, is it any wonder they're driven to cruelty? No, the laws that Ursander seeks to impose are the enemy. Things and people are not equal, so it was, and so it will always be. If you don't want, you can have this woman. Yeah?
I could just cut this bit of you talking and release it as a shorts. It'll be so much fun out of context.
No context. Yeah.
Yeah.
The laws that Ursander seeks to impose are the enemy. Things and people are not equal, so it was, and so it will always be. I'm repeating myself because I'm angry. If Hunral wants, he can have this woman. She's little good for anything else anyway. Since those who are above need no laws to force upon others their ethics. They're self-evident, and they're born of the light within them.
Light within them, sure.
Yeah. The maid departs the room and... Yes, go on.
No, we don't have much to discuss here because there's really nothing much to say. It's just shit. So, yeah. Unless you want to rant.
The only interesting thing is that she understands that some ethics are self-evident, and she just goes, no, I'm... Obviously, what's self-evident is that I'm above everyone else. Yeah, okay.
I mean,
good
she literally has light within her, so...
The maid departs then, and the room, and Raoul inquires about her, and we learn that she's one of many of the girls that come to Sandara with the promise of a new future, but are instead sorted into different households based on their breed, intelligence, and capacity, their spark. And yes, this is exactly what you think it is. This particular one was low-born and ignorant, and Hunral keenly observed those same two epithets can be applied to most of the Legion. Keenly. Are they too not worth fighting for? Should their lives be wasted? Santara counters by essentially saying that Raoul is spouting bullshit. He doesn't really think this. Or so when he simply sends his low-born and ignorant soldiers into battle to die, thinking only of the result. Hunral replies that the result he seeks is recognition of the Legion's sacrifices, and that end makes the lives of his soldiers worthy. But then Santara says, of the housemates of the nobles. Is their sacrifice not worthy of regard? Raoul replies that indeed it is, and since their soldiers, scantily different from the Legion, he would not be surprised if many of them put down their weapons and refused their noble masters. I kinda wish. Anyway, Santara scoffs at this idea. An uprising of the lowborn, the ignorant and the witless? High House lights not for Raoul, but he claims that the gift of light made no such distinctions, and all this is merely Santara's corruption of the faith. Which it is.
How quickly she corrupted it, yeah.
She responds with a paradigm in Hunral's world: who would serve, who would clean, cook, harvest. How fares that paradise, Hunral? And just as a side note, just send this passage to Wes and watch him go into meltdown.
Oh my god, no.
That's all I have to say. Anyhow.
No, we can bring him, one day. Let me ask him if he wants to talk to us about this.
Moreover, Raoul wears a sword, hinting at an iron promise behind every word. He expects obedience and compliance, and he will have it. Or else. In effect, Raoul's desire... Yeah?
Imposed.
Yeah.
Was it your fanboy? Yeah, he said
that. So, in effect, Hunral's desire to shake up the status quo is all bullshit, as all he really wants is to be on top when all is said and done. The life of ignorant peasants and lowborn will not have changed. Just appreciate the irony of both of them being dead on about one another to the point where neither can counter each other's words and instead result to fallacies. They're both right, and they both know it, and so instead of arguing, they merely point out the hypocrisy present in each other's words while missing their own hypocrisy. But one more thing I want to add is they both are very upfront.
Hmm.
They're both terrible, but they don't mince
Yeah.
words. Contrast
Yeah.
this to like Ursander and Sharina speaking. Like, how do I tell them that
I know. I
he
know.
fucked up?
Yeah.
The contrast is obvious and probably
Do you,
deliberate. And
do you notice the even dark Mother Dark's priests like Sidorpul? Even
Mhm.
he interviews young women who want to come and be priestesses.
Yep,
And yeah, he does his. I don't know what kind of interview would you call that? We'll
I
not
don't
call
know.
it anything. So
Yeah,
he has like stained robes and stuff. So
yeah. I mean, yeah.
what the pillow invites repose and yeah. So they're not sorted already. The fates are already corrupted. So
In any case, Honoral points out that Tantara wants more or less the same thing, which is true. And she realizes that what she wants instead is a realm of her own, where dark has no purchase and light rules alone. Ral counters that that's fruitless, since the two deities to be will marry, and unification will be achieved through balance. Rather than actually arguing against this point, Sindara mentions that she can tell that Ral now can access sorcery. Segue, and he concurs. It's interesting, but he must exercise caution, as should Sindara. Of course, the priestess claims that,
yeah.
as if. Um, the priestess claims that her comprehension is absolute, and she advises. God damn it! So sorry. She advises further caution in case Ral unleashes something against he cannot control. To which replies that she has grown arrogant, and she has, and how young girls would come to her dreaming of a new future, but instead she'd set them to mundane servant work, taken to many other noble households, and now here she stands, spouting bland pretensions to justify her near universal contempt for everyone else. I want to mention that, not just now, but like a little bit later, the two biggest sluts in Geralt Galen are slut shaming, but like at least Ral is right about her.
Who are the two biggest ones? Are you talking
Mandy and
about
Ral.
Andral and okay?
Yeah.
No, I think Spinnock
With
is
an
like
honorable
that.
mention to Spinnock, yeah. Honorable mention to Spinnock. Anyway, she may be beautiful, but within, Centaura's soul is quite ugly. Though she claims she's been reborn, Ral smirks and replies that she was simply repeated. Which is just such a glorious burn.
It's like a lame comeback, I thought. Like, how does saying you're repeated makes one feel bad? Would that make you feel bad? I don't know.
I mean, if she has like a lot of
Sintara
self-loathing.
might, so yeah.
Anyway, once again, rather than counter any of this, Sindara points out that Ral hasn't asked if he could take the maid, and he replies that a man has needs, because of course can't have someone be halfway decent for a change. This is a motif in this chapter. Ral leaves, but not before mentioning that the two of them should work together. The wedding will take place,
Oh wait,
and she
lets him borrow the maid.
Yes.
But not for too long.
Yeah.
Right?
A day or two. I thought this was pile up. God damn it, I hate these people. The wedding will take place, then she and Emerald can fight for as long as they wish, so long as they keep it civil. After Ral leaves, Sintara unleashes sorcery to bring the serving girl within and possesses her. In a manner more primitive, I suppose, than Cotillian's possession, which ends up killing the girl.
Yeah, here she straight up kills this maid. Yeah.
There was value, she reminisces, in keeping such people close by. The girl was lowborn and ignorant, so no great loss. The marriage Sindar believes is doomed from the get-go. Arisander cannot assure balance, there's too little left in him, or maybe he was never capable enough in the first place. After all, being a commander was woefully simple, with too few virtues and far too many vices. Conral was the prime example of this. Base, drunk, and ruthless, he was scantily a counterbalance to a goddess. Soldiers are as children, too, yeah?
When she looked upon soldiers, she saw them as children.
Mm-hmm.
Still trapped in their games of heroism, triumph, and great causes. One more, children motive, that's all. One pointer.
Soldiers are children, too often caught up in grand notions of heroism to notice the pitfalls beneath. No, soldiers fell into heroism, accidentally. There's also mention of penile gushes of glory, and I would
Oh,
take a
yeah,
shot each
that's here,
time
right?
Sintara raises the point of phallic or otherwise sexual imagery, but I'd be dead by the fifth page. So,
No, but see, we talked about this, but why did she possess this maid? Why did she kill her and take over? Is there a real reason?
She wants, basically to spy on Ral now.
What is she going to spy? She
Because
just
he
wants
is
to
a
see if
sorcerer
he's.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Just wants to gauge him, like how good is he with using
She
sorcery
could
and
have
like
just asked the maid when she come. Okay, whatever.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Sintara.
Sorry,
She's
yeah.
lowborn and ignorant. What do you think? We don't ask lowborn and ignorant individuals. They're not worthy of our
True, true.
regard.
Very true.
Anyway, in any case, Hunral would be pleased by this woman, as all great heroes of the male frame need their compliant beauties, who would gush at their examples of violence. Is this like a jab at like older fantasy by Erickson?
No, this one I'm pretty sure. You know what? In one of the interviews, Erickson was talking about Flashman series, which he liked because when I was talking about the novellas, he said something like he likes this series called Flashman because it's supposed to be written by this extremely despicable character, but you can't like look away. He's like all sorts of sexist and racist and everything, but it's very funny because he's very unaware. I've not read them yet,
Mm-hmm.
but all the covers have that. This white dude and some exotic looking woman hanging onto him, sitting beside him, or all that, It's that type
Right,
of.
right, right.
That's what
Yeah,
I was thinking when I read this. That
right.
every hero needs a compliant beauty. Yeah.
So the heroes marched below in the courtyard day by day, standing with blades close in hand, announcing to all their dangerous selves. Soon, like Vathor Sander himself, they would come to understand their own irrelevance. And this is where I made a note last time that Ursander he yearns for this irrelevance that Sindara speaks of, but she wouldn't know that, of course, because she's Sindara. Anyway, according to the priestess, there was no. We're getting to that part. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
According to the
It's okay. We
priestess,
can do
there
it.
was no age of heroes. There never was. All that we witness is the passage of time, with everything staying the same but the faces, until they too eventually blur into one. Is it any wonder, then, that Kadaspala went mad? Oh, Centaura knew of the brutal murder of his sister that eventually drove him insane, but she believed something other than that. The belligerent, obstinate, dull face of history looking out to Kadaspala, and the realization that all ages are the same, was in truth what drove him mad, when all the virtues of nobility were revealed to be little more pride and pomp, preening, and pretense. Now, if you've been keeping up with Final After Hours, you probably know why this offends me personally.
No, but
Not
this sort of tracks with what Kadaspala would actually think.
No. He would, but he would fucking take his eyes out because of it.
No, not forget the end result of it. But this is his basic stand, right? That when you see Urusander, you see strength, but you're not seeing the cruelty behind the strength. The same thing is what she's also saying, right? You don't see the virtues which are hiding these things, pomp and preening and pretense and all that. It completely tracks with the way he would think. It's just that you're too mad to.
I'm
Look
too
at it
mad because Centaura
objectively,
doesn't
yeah.
notice the irony of herself saying this.
Yeah, that's
Admitting
true.
her own virtues. Whatever. Yeah.
But anyway, whenever any hero talk comes, I always think of Odinas. Because he's the one obsessed with quests, right? Like heroes going on quests. That's it. Go on.
No, I mean, I was thinking about Orfatal and how he has some other thoughts, but yeah, I haven't paid much attention, to be honest. So she does say one interesting thing, in that the age of heroes comes as a belief and leaves as a conviction, and unwitnessed, it is resurrected in the past, which is the only realm it can call home. Beyond the unwitnessed quote, harking back to a certain storyline, this actually somewhat echoes Brood from earlier in this book, just with the very same cynical tone that Brood decries, That,
What does he say?
how monuments would be raised in a civilization's downfall, just done by cynics who would, basically what Centaur is doing here is what Brood said people wouldn't do, but whatever. Centaura will bring about light, and with it, will cleanse the word of its lies, will reveal all the unwelcome truths. And in this realm where heroes cannot exist, Centaura will provide all of them with mindless virgins to use, of which there's an inexhaustible supply. Whereas Sandra wants pure justice, well, Centaura, in the name of light, will deliver it.
We're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I mean, we're done with scene 2. In case anyone is listening and they want to log out now, don't.
So we'll probably do one more scene then cut because
Yeah.
we're approaching the middle. I know the middle is 10 scenes, 2 scenes, and there's 10 total. I know that's how the chapter is. Don't at me.
Yeah.
So scene 3, I have named The Sister and Silence, which is
The Sister and Silence. What is this about?
It's Sarah moping in a bar.
Oh God. You might as well skip this. It's just her thinking about silence, right? Does anything happen here, or is it the next scene? Does she do the killing right here?
No, she beats 2 people senseless and thinks, mopes a lot.
Yeah, my God. Does she beat them or does she kill them? She beats them.
No, she knees one guy in the groin and then breaks one guy's nose and knee.
Oh God, yeah. The silence thing it's very nice, but it's nice to just, read it slowly and just think about it. I don't know how. Okay, go on. I want to see how you summarize that.
So, the village surrounding Neritsor has suffered under the weight of 7,000 souls. Unexpected deaths, sudden losses, too many contemptuous and arrogant faces. Sarah commiserates, as she, too, outwardly, has suffered all of those things. But the reason she's here is because she appreciates the solitude. She didn't want to get drunk or find herself at night entangled with some poor sod, nor did she want to find herself in the company of any soldiers. No, solitude would do, where the silence could speak, unobstructed. Sieg was part of the community of 3 Issgin sisters. This community would mock solitude, and now she'd been cast out by the death of her 2 sisters, Sarah welcomes solitude, more than she misses her sisters. Risp had died in her first battle, far to the west. Seveg had died on the league away from here, also in her first battle. Such details weren't worth mentioning. After all, how many soldiers died in their first battle? Lest the civil contemplation of such acts would be saddened. Such details, of course, had to do with the sending of innocents to war, or so the silence whispered. They sent them to war, and training's but the thinnest veneer to hide the innocents beneath. The soldiers draw their blades and march on, and what they find is an array of faces twisted with intent, the intent to take their lives. Few things could hide the unstained white banners carried by so many into battle. Never mind all the faces seeking to look grim or wizened. None are prepared, none can hide the innocence they carry. Focus upon it if you dare, and think on who sent them into the battle. For silence cannot, must not, lest it and Serap come too close, and one of them flinches and flees. Of course, only one can flee, Serap, into silence's end, into the laps of men and casks of ale, where nobody needs to wonder about the innocents lost on the field of battle, or the men and women sent unto war by other men and women. What Sarah realized, you have something to say?
Is this exactly the thing which comes up in chapter 1, where he's talking about soldiers? Is this why you were brought up, and is this what your parents hope for?
Galan harkens back a lot in the chapter. Yeah. Galan is echoed a lot in the chapter, for sure.
Yeah. Right.
What Sarah realized is that solitude demanded courage, and that courage was not shared by the men and women in her company. But she wouldn't hold them in contempt, because she knew what dogged them as well. Despair. Despair is what haunts every innocent generation that marches into war, until those who are innocent no longer are stripped of it. Sarah sat alone in the silence, and all around her, innocence waved. Two soldiers then... Yeah?
Yeah, that's so sweet. That white banner is waved in the sun. Yes.
Yeah. On the one hand, it's sweet. On the other hand, Sarah is past innocence, right?
It's not her innocence she's thinking about. She's only thinking about the people around her. Yeah, so that's fine. She's not pretending to be innocent or anything.
Yeah, she's not as awful as her sister, which is a plus. She's still a bit awful, but not that much. Not that awful. Among the Issgin, Sarah, incidentally, is the better one.
It doesn't matter because this is the last chapter. So.
Yeah. So 2 soldiers enter the tavern in which Sarah presides, and she quickly realizes that they're up to no good. Under her standard, none of this will be feasible, but with Hunra at the helm, such things become more and more commonplace. Of course, Serap resolved not to think about it too much, for such notions skirted dangerously close to the worth of things and the true cost of war. Gallon. The two are drunk, though not as drunk as they seem to be, and they're hunting deniers. They ask for a drink and disrespect the barkeep enough to catch the attention of 4 burly farmhand brothers. One soldier draws a blade, and Serap decides that enough's enough. She makes her presence known, and the two collectively shit breaks. Though they try to defuse the situation and justify themselves, someone got stabbed and they're looking for knives. Serap's in no mood for any of this. The 2 soldiers are in Khalid Bahan's company, of torching a Sheikh monastery in Bar Dalak fame, in his silvers.
Oh, yeah.
Khalid Bahan of torching a Sheikh monastery fame.
Yeah.
Under Sagander, by the way. That was with Sagander. In case you forgot.
Was that? I don't think I don't remember anymore. But yeah.
Yeah. It was Forge of Darkness. Sagander was at the Sheikh monastery, and then Legion's outside, and he goes, "Okay, I can bring you in."
I didn't know that he was meeting with Khalid Bahan. I just thought it was some random unnamed company.
It was Khalid and Tath Lorat that later gave him Sheltath. As a reward, I should not get into this because I'm going to get angry again. Anyway.
But it's a funny thing, right? With the silvers, she makes a joke.
Yeah. How about you shave your heads bald and call yourselves the pearls? Or like the shiny rocks. Yeah.
And this whole thing is funny, yeah.
So, a soldier makes a move on his sword. And Serap moves close and knees him in the crotch, before driving her elbow into the face of the other guy, and then breaking his knee for good measure, and ordering the rest of the soldiers coming in to stand down and clean up the mess. With at least a hint of threat in her words about future charges. She then turns to the 4 Far brothers, instructs them not to pick fights with Legion soldiers, pays her tab, and then she mopes. The realization that she wanted this fight just as much as the soldiers did hangs heavy over Serap, and more so the knowledge that she wanted to see the banner of white stained red, if only to make a point. Just, she can't remember what that point was.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the next scene's Renar, and it's going to take like 30 minutes, we're probably going to cut here.
So after Renard, how many? Do we have 10 scenes in this? I thought Renard and then one more scene. That's all. Oh yeah, we still have Sharinas going.
Sharinas, we still have Ral and Santara doing their
Sharinas
thing.
has multiple scenes, right? She pops up here and there. And just it's like a montage, right? Things
to
are
be
happening.
Fair, it's more like 3 scenes just cut between them. Like Sharinas, Ral, and Renar. But overall, I've named 10 scenes to be safe.
Right.
So yeah, and we're about halfway. Give or take.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7. The next scene is with Renar, which is a rather big one and a rather important one, and it's pretty heavy in symbolism. So do not bore you too much. We're gonna cut here probably. Take a quick break. Take a smoke. Take a drink.
Don't advise people to smoke.
Okay, maybe don't smoke. That's bad. As is drinking while you're living. No, like water. Water's good. Have a sip. Stay hydrated.
Bye. So we'll be back soon.
We'll see you in the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
bye.